Hey there, it's April with the Possible Diet. So many hashtags going on in this tutorial today. I'm wearing a kitty hat because I just didn't feel like doing my hair today. I got all the ingredients for this at Grocery Outlet. I freaking love the Grocery Outlet. I thought I would, in a fit of boldness, try a viral recipe and try to like make it my own, because one of my big things is, I don't like the idea that you can't be a part of the party. This is something that I see in my 3-year-old nephew all the time. If there's a party happening, he wants to be part of it, and he gets upset when he's not allowed to be part of it. And sometimes when you're on a diet or you're trying to eat low carb, you just feel like I'm not going to be able to be part of the party that everybody else is a part of. And I don't like that. I completely reject that idea. Human beings are built to adapt. And so if you want to be a part of the party, you just have to adapt. You just have to like find a way to be a part of it and enjoy it. And, to me, a diet is it's not a cage. It's not a restriction. To me, it's a guardrail. I like to say freedom isn't deciding that you want to be able to drive off a cliff. Like, no, that's not freedom. That's crazy. Freedom is being able to drive safely on the cliff. And so to me, that's what a diet is. It's a guardrail. So for this recipe, I'm going to try TikTok baked feta pasta. This was a recipe that was popularized actually by a Finnish food blogger that kind of like went viral on TikTok. And I got all these ingredients at the Grocery Outlet. Because I love my veggies, I'm taking this recipe, I'm making it low carb by substituting spaghetti squash for the pasta, and then I'm pumping up those vegetables by adding zucchini and red bell peppers. I also saw Mediterranean herb feta at the Grocery Outlet, and I thought, let's try that. And I am using Sel Fou, which is crazy salt. One second. I got this crazy salt at Izrael, which is a spice shop in Paris. That was like my dream, was to like go into Israel and like just pick up some spices in Paris. So this is it. I also have a recipe. I'm not going to show you how to make it because it's super simple, but and also because I don't need to make it because I have a jar of it. I also have a recipe for Sel Fou that I found on the internet, so you can use that as well. Fortunately, can't get that at the Grocery Outlet. So you're going to need a pint of cherry tomatoes. I always buy organic tomatoes. And again, if you're shopping at the Grocery Outlet, you can afford them. Half a cup of diced red bell peppers. I'm going to show you a technique that's super handy for dicing bell peppers in a second. Half a cup of diced zucchini. 2 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped, or I'm just using my canned chopped garlic. It's a departure from my garlic paste because I ran out of it. And then 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil divided into 1 tablespoon and 3 tablespoons if you can. A teaspoon of our Sel Fou. Fresh chopped basil, which I also got at the Grocery Outlet, organic. And then 10 ounces of cooked spaghetti squash. You can also use miracle noodles or zoodles if you want. I suggest if you're gonna use zoodles that you maybe change this up for something else, like more bell peppers or yellow squash, just so that it's not like Zucchini City. Unless you want to go to Zucchini City, go to Zucchini City. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to show you how to chop a bell pepper. Most people chop a bell pepper, like this, and then you get this whole stuff on top and this whole stuff on the bottom. I learned this from watching a YouTube chef video. You just chop that top part off just like that. Chop the bottom part off like that. Cut all the way around. Ta-da! Goes in the compost bin. And then you just lay this out. Well, looks like I missed a little bit there. Lay this out and then dice, 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 dice. And that's really easy to chop a red bell pepper. I'm going to chop this up, chop my zucchini up, unwrap my feta, and I will meet you back here for the second part of our tutorial. All right, so we are going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil, You know, this is my favorite, using a shake measuring scoop as a measuring thing, because I know it's exactly 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of olive oil into a bowl. 2 teaspoons of garlic paste or chopped garlic. I like the roughly chopped garlic for this, to be honest. And in the original recipe, it's like big chunks of garlic. But I just like to kind of get it all in there, flavor up the oil. Then you want to add all your vegetables. So I have my pint. You don't need to chop these. They'll explode. Well, sort of explode. They'll burst in the oven. And I'm making a half recipe of this because this is enough feta for me. And I'm making it in my toaster oven, so this is the pan that I'm baking it in, which fits in my toaster oven. But you can definitely double this recipe and make it in a regular oven. This is a half a cup, generous half a cup of zucchini. Save the extra zucchini, because even if you have 1 zucchini, you might have some leftovers, for the Claire's omelet on my YouTube channel. In that omelet, I use asparagus and mushrooms, but zucchini and red bell peppers are great in an omelet. So, and then your red bell peppers diced up, nice. You can see those dices are pretty small. Again, the smaller you dice this, like the easier it'll be to fit in the pan. You got to kind of balance it because they will cook up in the toaster oven. And these are super, super shiny. Now, take the other tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to eyeball this and put it in the bottom of your pan. Just like that. Get your block of feta. And the recipe, the original recipe did say that sheep's milk feta is better. This is indeterminate milk-based feta, so it might not be that great. Put it in the pan. Kind of like move it all around, get it oiled up on one side, and then flip it over on the other side. Get more oil on the other side, and then put it kind of in the middle. Put these veggies all around it. Not necessarily on top of it. I'm gonna shove these to the side. You want them kind of like all around it, not on top of it, because what we're gonna do is bake it for about 25 minutes. Until the cherry tomatoes pop and the vegetables are all smelling good. And then we're gonna broil it for 10 minutes. And what that's gonna do is give the top of this feta like a little broily, crusty, good, melty goodness. So you want your pan to look like that. And then get your Sel Fou. Now, you don't have to use this fancy Parisian spice. You can just do a half a teaspoon of red bell pepper flakes and some salt and pepper kind of like ground up over the top. But I had this fancy salt and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use it. The recipe calls for a teaspoon, I believe. Yeah, a teaspoon of Sel Fou. So this is a half teaspoon measure. I'm gonna give it a little bit more on this side because it's missing some love over here. Maybe a little more, just to coat the top. Okay, so that's what your baked feta is gonna look like. And again, 25 minutes at 400 degrees, and then you're gonna broil it for 10 more minutes. And then you're gonna put this actually back in this bowl with your spaghetti squash, toss it all together, and put chopped basil on top. And it's gonna be super good. So I'll see you in 25 minutes. All right, it's been 25 minutes. I've been hearing these tomatoes pop. Ooh, it looks good. So this is what it should look like. when it's ready to broil, I'm going to actually give the top of this feta like a little bit of a misto spray. Love this misto. If you don't have one of these, go to TJ Maxx or Marshall's and get one. They're amazing. I'm going to give it just a little bit of olive oil on the top. It's like, I've had this forever, so it really is more of like a stream than a spray. And then you can tell almost all the tomatoes are popped. When I put this on broil, I'm going to put it on broil for 10 minutes on high, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'm going to check it at 5 minutes. And then we'll be ready. Hopefully by then, all the tomatoes will be popped, and we'll be ready to mix it into our spaghetti squash. Our tomatoes have popped. I mean, I got to be honest with you. If you want to just serve this as a dip with, you know, some low-carb pita chips. I don't even know if they make low-carb pita chips. I don't think they do. I think you'd have to buy like Trader Joe's low-carb pitas and toast them yourself. But this looks pretty good. Now, what the recipe says to do is, you know, kind of stir this all up in the pan. Certainly makes it less pretty. And then toss it with your favorite pasta. I'm going to toss it with spaghetti squash, but you can use zoodles or hearts of palm pasta. I have not tried it with cauliflower rice to make kind of like a risotto, but I imagine looking at the sauce and smelling it, I imagine that would be pretty tasty. So I'm going to dump this is slightly warmed in the microwave, spaghetti squash, into this pan. And the ratio of creamy sauce to spaghetti squash on this dish is going to be pretty generous for me. I might have to add a few more tomatoes to justify it. But I'm going to just dump this on in here. Ooh. Give that a toss. This smells amazing. And I know that looking at this, you might want to add more Parmesan cheese on top, but really this is pretty creamy. If you are trying to lose weight, I do not advise it. But this dish would be a nice substitute if you are losing your mind, craving fettuccine Alfredo. It smells amazing. It's super creamy. You can use sheep's milk feta if you're allergic to cow's milk. I've got my fresh chopped basil on top. Give that another quick stir. Oh, and with the basil, it smells even better. I'm going to add some fresh cracked pepper, even though I have the Sel Fou in there. I think it would be a nice addition. So yeah, that is your baked feta pasta. Enjoy.